Hello and welcome. The day is Tuesday, the 19th of May, and welcome to Mr. Seagull's Geography Adventures in Belgium. We're not going very far this week. We're staying closer to home, but we're going to go to Belgium, and it's going to be so exciting. So thank you for joining. And today's particularly exciting because we've got a bit of home festival collaboration, a bit of collab. So Mr. Seagull's Geography Adventures and the wonderful Katie Priest's baking class at 2 o'clock. Katie's Kitchen, we are collaborating on an idea. So wait along a bit later and you'll find out what I'm talking about and how that's related to Katie's class in particular. So I'm particularly excited for that. So if you're new to my classes, my name is Bobby Seagull. I'm Mr. Seagull, the school maths teacher. I'm also the author of a couple of books. One is called The Monkman and Seagull Quiz Book, and one is called The Life-Changing Magic of Numbers, about how maths and numbers changed my life. And I am the presenter for the BBC TV series Monkman and Seagull's Genius Adventures, and I'll tell you more about that, which is on last night. So, before we get cracking, let's go through the schedule for today's Home Festival family. So what do we have today? So at 11:30 after this, Oti and Marius family dance class, always terrific. Then 12:15, Richie and Katya doing Pictionary. And I've heard Richie said on Instagram, there's a forfeit for whoever loses. So that's going to be tense and exciting. Then at 2 o'clock, a home festival collaboration. Katie's doing Belgian Biscoff Biscuits. Going to be delicious. In fact, hold on. I'm going to take part 2. I'll tell you more about it later. Look, I've got my ingredients ready. There you go, Katie impressed. I got my apron, and I'll put that on later when we do the food section. I've got my mitts. I'm going to take part in Katie's class too. Then what else do we have? Then at 3 o'clock, a makeup tutorial with Bryony. And then at 7 p.m., the fabulous Step Star, Strictly finalist Faye Tozer is continuing with the Narnia stories. And then finally, 8:15, special guests, Jive Talking, Anton and Hannah. And that's going to be amazing. Anton's one of my favorite Strictly dancers. So that's going to be super duper fabulous. Okay, so social media wise, if you're enjoying the class, please, again, on Instagram, follow me at Bobby_Seagull on Insta. I'm on Twitter at Bobby_Seagull. I even have a TikTok at Bobby_Seagull. I have a Facebook page, Bobby Seagull, and I'm on YouTube. So I'm on all the social media. And for some of you adults out there, I'm also on LinkedIn, but that's quite professional. Okay, so I want to show you now the homework done for this week's lesson. So the homework, again, it's so brilliant seeing people take part in my lessons and submit homework with Bobby. So you've got always 3 options: do, draw, or dance. Do is a task specific to that lesson. Draw is a poster about the class. Or dance is send in your dance submissions. So let's have a look. So Francesca, as usual, does our wonderful dances, taking part enthusiastically. Thank you, Francesca. Then we have Milan and Maya, and they've been drawing beautiful posters, submitting them to me each week. So thank you so much. Then we have Alexander and Gabriel, who take part enthusiastically in all my classes. Thank you. Oscar sent a superb poster of, I guess, a Greek structure with the Olympic rings. And then Karina, I've got it on my board, a shout out to Karina School, which is St. Edward's Junior Roman Catholic School in Aylesbury. So shout out St. Edward's. And Karina not only created a Greek Parthenon type structure, but she actually made a Trojan horse and some masks. So thank you. So if you've got your homework, so parents, adults, carers, send them in. I'll shout them out. I love seeing the enthusiasm of your students and the children. So let's move on to looking at where we're off to today. So we're off to Belgium. We're off to Belgium today. Belgium. And I'm excited because it's not a long, again, you might be thinking, why is Mr. Seagull dressed in a bit of a casual outfit? You know, I've got jeans. Can you see that? It's not very far to Belgium. We're just going across. Let's have a look at our map. It's not very far. It's really not very far. If you look here at the globe, in fact, it's literally just there to there on the globe. It's not very far. And you'll see in the next slide, it's going to be an easy journey, I think. We're going to look at some cuisine. cuisine where I get my apron on. We'll see it and talk about Katie's kitchen. Then we got, obviously, Dance with Bobby. And later on in the show, I'll show you the dance I did last night on BBC. Terrible, but exciting. Terrible dance, honestly. It's a steam engine dance. I do a little shimmy. Then we learn to count to 5. And in Belgium, there are 3 languages, and we'll learn about counting there. And then finally, we'll look at Tintin, one of the most famous cartoon characters to emerge in the world, and from Belgium. And the last 3 things will be homework with Bobby, quiz with Bobby, make sure you're paying attention. And then finally, thoughts of Mr. Seagull, ideas on how to help you progress and be really positive. So let's get cracking. Who's ready to go to Belgium? Who's ready to go to Belgium? I am. It's time for Belgium. It's time for Belgium. Time for Belgium. It's time for Belgium. Yeah, it's time for Belgium. It's time for Belgium. Let's go. Mr. Seagull's geography adventures in Belgium. So who else do we have? Hello, Lara in Worcester. Welcome. Welcome. So here we go. Journey. So normally we get a plane, don't we? I got my bag. To be honest, my bag's quite light this morning. We're going across the Eurostar. And you know the Eurostar only takes about 2 hours. I'm gonna put these notes up. What else do we know about Belgium? It's gonna take us 2 hours to get there, just about 2 hours. And Belgium actually is a small country. The population is about 11.5 million. And if you compare that to the UK, we're about 68 million. So you can see it's small. We're about 6 times bigger than Belgium. 6 times bigger. Yeah, 6 times probably makes more sense. And then what else do we have? The size of Belgium. It's a small country. If you look at that map, you can see the UK. We're actually at least 3 times bigger, or 8 times bigger than Belgium, because Belgium is 30,000 square kilometers. So it's 30,000 square kilometers. And do you know what we are? We're about 240,000 square kilometers. So a bit of maths there, because I'm a maths teacher. You can see that Belgium, we're 8 times bigger than Belgium, 8 times, and about 6 times bigger population-wise. So Belgium is a very small country. And here's some interesting fact. Do you know where the word Belgium comes from? The Romans. You know the Romans? The Romans used to march along from Italy. Well, the Romans had a name for Belgium, and they called it Belgica. Belgica. And that's where the name, modern-day Belgian name comes from. Belgica. Belgica. So we're off there. What else do we know? And here's the crazy fact. Do you know New York City, the Big Apple in America, was founded by a Belgian? How very cool is that? I'm particularly excited that New York City was founded by a Belgian. That's very, very cool. So it's time for us to get on. Are you all ready? So we're on board. A few people, Gemma saying that she went to Belgium. I think it's beautiful. I've been to Belgium myself. So we're there. Get on board the Eurostar. That's very, very easy. 2 hours. We're there. Okay, let's get off. And now we have landed. We have landed and reached Belgium. Let's have a look. So we are now in the capital city. We're in the capital city. Hello, Mayuri on Facebook. We're in the capital city. So where are we? So we're now landed in Brussels. We've landed in Brussels. And Brussels, it does have the same name as Brussels sprouts, is the capital city. And in Brussels, it's quite a cosmopolitan place. Cosmopolitan means they speak lots of languages. And they have 3 languages in Belgium, in Brussels. They have 1, French. Bonjour. Parlez-vous français? When we go to France, we'll learn some more French. They've got French. They have a language called Flemish. You know, like phlegm. It sounds like that, Flemish. And it's actually a version of Dutch that the people in the Netherlands, so Flemish, Dutch. They're the 2 main languages, French and Flemish Dutch. But they have a 3rd language, not used that frequently, but German as well. German. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Speak a tiny bit of German. Tiny bit of German, not much. Oti can probably teach you much more. So French, Flemish, Dutch, and German. And these are the 3 main languages there. So Brussels, that what you're seeing the picture there is the main square, and they've got in the summer they lay out lots of flowers, and it looks absolutely beautiful. But another place in Belgium is equally as impressive. Equally as impressive. I'll tell you what this place is. It's called Bruges. Bruges. Say that for me. Bruges. I think some people in Belgium call it Braga, but Bruges is the name. And Bruges is known as the Venice of the North. The Venice of the North. And do you know what Venice is? Has anyone heard of Venice before? Venice is a really beautiful city-state in Italy that's all based on canals. Really beautiful place. And again, we'll cover that in another class, Bella. But Bruges has its canals, really pretty, only a short distance, about an hour, hour and a half from Brussels. In Belgium, you can get around the city and the country very, very quickly. So there we are. We've been to Brussels. We had a look around. And you've got to speak a bit of English, obviously, French, Flemish, Dutch, which is a tough language, and then a few bits of German. And actually, there's a word for the countries around Belgium. It's called this. The Low Countries. The Low Countries. If I can spell that, Low Countries. And do you know why it's called the Low Countries? Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg, because they're quite low. They're quite low. So Flemish is spoken, as someone on YouTube is saying, more in the rural areas. And for business, it tends to be more French that's used there. So we're going to get some snacks. We're going to get some snacks. We're going to now have a look at food because, we've had a journey. We've been to the city, capital city, and I'm feeling peckish. You feeling peckish? I'm feeling peckish. So let's have a look. So Belgium is renowned for some really good cuisine. They actually stock, again, I'm an adult, not for children yet, but they stock adults, 800 varieties of beer. Lots of beer. It's amazing. But also, what else are they renowned? They're renowned for their chocolates. Belgium, this is a great fact, actually probably the biggest place where you can buy chocolates in the world is Belgium Airport, the national airport. That's crazy, isn't it? An airport selling more chocolate than anywhere else in the world. So, but don't eat too much chocolate. And the other thing that you can see is something that's very special. We'll come to that in a second. That's Katie's kitchen. Frites. French fries. French fries should probably be called Belgian fries because they were made in Belgium. So French fries, when you have a McDonald's fry, thank you, Belgium, for that invention. And then what other things do they have? Waffles. Waffles in Belgium. But this is what we're coming for. So today at 2 o'clock, our wonderful Katie Priest is going to be making Biscoff biscuits. Biscoff biscuits. And I'll tell you what Biscoff biscuits were renowned for. So in 1932, let's write this down. In 1932. So that's about 88 years back. 1932. In a bakery, so in a small bakery, in a place called Lembeck, a family experimented with ingredients and they came up with something that had great flavor, really crunchy, and a really beautiful shape. And it's called Biscoff biscuits. And actually, the biscuits, they're called lotus biscuits. Lotus, after a flower. Lotus biscuits. So they're actually called Lotus Biscoff biscuits. And at 2 o'clock today, Katie Priest is going to be making them. I know where I'm going to be at 2 o'clock, in Katie Priest's kitchen. Katie Priest's kitchen. Actually, someone on YouTube is telling me the fries in Belgium are called frites. Frites, that's correct. In French, they would use that word, frites. Frites. I'm feeling, do you feel like you worked up an appetite? I've eaten a lot. Had some biscuits here. I had some biscuits myself. So I think it's time. It's the middle of the session. Francesca, I think it's time for a dance. Don't you think? It's time for a dance. Let's go and see what dances they do in Belgium. So we're going to look at something called folk dance. Folk dance. Hello, Mayuri. Hello, Lisa on Facebook. So we're doing folk dance. So let me tell you about Belgian and folk dance. So they call it something else. So folk dance is, boys and girls, a very traditional style of dance. And most countries have their own version. And in Belgium, it's called folk bal, B-A-L, folk bal, the traditional dance. And it's been revived quite recently. And there's an organization called Boombal. It's a funny name, Boombal. So if you went to Belgium and you went to Brussels, or you went to the Venice of the North, Bruges, and said, Boombal, Boombal, they'd all start dancing with you. Boombal, Boombal, it's a funny name. So let us now learn some folk dance. Let's have a look. Although I'm gonna get ready for this folk dance because we need to wear something a bit different. So I've got chalk dust, get my jacket off, I've got my hammers. You can see I'm a West Ham fan. I've got my claret and blue there in the background. Take my jacket off for now. I'm gonna put on, hold on. I'm gonna put on my jacket. You like this? Wait, put on my little jacket, yeah, waistcoat, and a little hat. Matches my waistcoat. Do you like that? What do you think of my hat? Impressed? There we go. So I'm ready for some Belgian folk dance. Are you ready? Let's have a look at some Belgian folk dance. Okay, here we go, Belgian folk dance. Come on. Left, tin. I'm doing the guys bit, the girls can do the girls bit. Come on, get with it. Imagine you've got a partner that you dance with. Okay, so stop again, so go to the left. And then to the right. I love this Belgian folk dance. And then, come on ladies, I'll do the ladies bit this time. Do the ladies bit. Come on, now do the guys bit. Ooh, the ladies do a little spin as well. And a little pirouette. Oh, I love this. You feel so happy and joyous. Imagine spinning your partner. Okay, one more time. So to the left. I love this. That's the thing I love about dancing, I love about Strictly, because there's so much joy in dancing. I mean the guys bit now. Okay, now walk in. Oh, yeah. And dance with your partner. Ooh, it's wonderful. Spin around. There we go. So that is Belgian folk dancing. Thank you. So I enjoyed that. Did you enjoy that? I enjoyed that. I'm a bit tired. We'll put that back on later on. End of the class, we'll come back to some Belgian folk dancing. So let's get my outfit back on. Put my jacket back on. I'm going to be smart because now it's time for us to go to school. Time to go to school in Belgium. So got your brains back on. We're going to learn some counting. So Lisa Jane says she loves folk music. I love it too. It's really positive, upbeat. It's got a really lovely rhythm and rhyme to it. Okay, so here are the numbers. So another time we will learn the French numbers and the 2, 4, 5. But Lisa, today we're going to learn the Flemish ones. So let's have a look. And I've got here the spelling of it. I've got it up there. So you got the Flemish spelling, but I want us to learn the pronunciation. And if there's anyone out there that speaks Flemish, please help me with this. I did try to learn it. So number 1 is één. Say that. Één. Number 2 is twee. Number 3 is drie. Almost like drie, like a tree. Drie. Number 4 is vier. And number 5 is erf. Let's try that. Let's count up from 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, erf. We'll count back down. Erf, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got that? Okay, I'll give you some maths questions. Okay, if I said 1, plus 2. What would that be? 1 plus 2. It is. Say that back to me in Flemish. Flemish Dutch. 3. Okay. How about 4 minus 2? 4 minus 2. What do you reckon, Tina? What do you reckon? 4 minus 2. That's what I said. I think that's 2 as well. 4 minus 2. We'll do multiplication. How about 2 times 2? 2 times 2. Come on. Speak it back to me in Flemish. 2 times 2 is? 4 is 4. Okay, you got your numbers. We'll do a count up. We'll do a little dance, a little count. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then back down. 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there you got your numbers in Flemish. So now you can go to Brussels, or you can go to the Venice of the North in Bruges, and you can order 5 items. You could say Erf Biscoff, please. That's all you can order. But there you go. Your numbers 1 to 5. Thank you. And we should move on. Now. We're going to move on to comics. So, who loves comics? I love these. I love comics. So I love reading comics about books, children's stories. I used to love reading these sort of things growing up. I'll tell you one of the things I love the most. So these are books of Oliver Twist, King Arthur's Tales. You can see that. Something even cooler. I like Asterix, but this is what I loved. Tintin. So Tintin was a boy, young man. He's an adventurer and reporter. So those news reporters that go around. He was one of those, and he had a dog that you can see called Snowy. But in French, Snowy is called Milou. M-I-L, Milou. So in English, we'd call it Milou, but in French, they'd call it Snowy. And he would go around trying to get to the bottom of investigation. So if you look at that picture there, you can see a few characters. So on the left, in the green, is Professor Calculus, and he was a scientist. Then the Captain Haddock. Then we've got Tintin and Little Snowy. Then we've got the Thompson brothers, the detectives. And then finally, the opera diva singer, Bianca Castiglione. I sing opera not very well, but I know who does. David Webb sings really well. So these are the characters. And they'd often go off an investigation. So you see one cartoon there, Tintin in Tibet. He'd go to Africa, he'd go across the world, Mexico, trying to essentially get to the bottom of mysteries. And he was so popular, Tintin, that they made Tintin in 70 languages. Can you believe that? 70 languages. And do you know how many copies it sold around the world? 200 million copies. That's amazing. 200 million copies of this sold. And that is astounding. It shows you how powerful the story is. And you know the author, I'm going to show you a really cool fact about the author. So the author is a Belgian guy, and he wrote it in 1929. That's just 3 years before Biscoff Biscuits. And his name was this, Georges, like George we have in England, Georges Remy. And you're wondering, Bobby, Mr. Seagull, why does it say the author's Hergé? And I'll tell you why, Charlene. This is really cool. So you know Georges Remy, what are the initials? G and R. Yeah? G and R. And what if you put them backwards? You'd get RG. RG. And if you read it out in their language, RG is J. That's really brilliant, isn't it? So the name for Hergé, the author of the books, is actually a made-up name. It's Georges Remy, the letters, put backwards, RG, and it becomes Hergé. How cool is that? I think that's very cool. So let's now move on to, we've had a bit of a comics. We're going to send you with the homework. Say your homework task. So your homework task is 3 things. either one, create an idea for Tintin. What could he do as an adventure? So create a cartoon idea. So we saw Tintin in Tibet. I would say Tintin and the search for the glitter ball. Strictly glitter ball. Or you could draw 3 things in the lesson. 3 or 1, draw things that you learn in the class today. And then finally, someone on Instagram saying, YouTube, they love that fact. It's an amazing fact, Hergé. And the third one is send a dance of your folk thing. So again, send it to me at Bobby_Seagull on Twitter, at Instagram, on Facebook, even on TikTok possibly. But do send it in and I'll share it with the Home Festival family. You know what time it is? It's time for your quiz. Your quiz. I'm going to be seeing if you've been paying attention. Have you been paying attention? I'm serious now. It's time for the quiz. Are you ready? So there are 3 questions on the class today. Let's see if you've been paying attention. Charlene, Lisa, Tina, Gemma, Snazzy Quizzes, Francesca, Oscar, Maya, Miran. We're all ready for my quiz, okay? 3 questions. 3 questions. Here we go. Here we go. 3 questions. So the first one is, what city is known as Venice of the North? What city is known as Venice of the North? Question 1. What city is known as Venice of the North? Question 2. Biscoff biscuits were named after which flower? Biscoff biscuits were named after which flower? And the third one, who's the author of Tintin? Who's the author of Tintin? Either name's acceptable. So let me see your answers. Let me see your answers. So what do we get? So Venice of the North. Are we getting any answers here? What city is the Venice of North? Anyone coming in? And we've got number 1 is Bruges. Bruges. Well done to those that got that correct. Well done, Snazzy Quizzers. Question number 2 was Biscoff. Come on, Lisa, let's get involved. Let's get involved. Well done, Gemma, as well. Biscoff biscuits were named after the flower, the lotus. Well done. A few of you getting it across my different channels here. Well done, Lisa and Charlene. And the last one, the author, I'd give you either 2. I'd either say Hergé or I'd say Georges Remy. And that's a brilliant fact. So well done. Thank you, Charlene, Lisa, Mayuri. You've all been fab. Francesca, you're on the ball. And Bella, you're all on the ball today. You all passed my test. Well done. You passed my test. Okay, so still got a few minutes, about 4 or 5 minutes before I want to sort of wrap up. We're going to look at thoughts of Mr. Seagull. Thoughts of Mr. Seagull. So take a deep step back. Take a breath in and breathe out. Take a breath in and breathe out. Okay, thank you. So thoughts of Mr. Seagull, I'm trying to give you positive ideas to help you live your life more constructively. And the method today, the idea is about don't compare yourself to other people. Because sometimes in life, when we look at other people, we're like, oh, they're better at dancing than me. Oh, they're better at maths than me. Oh, they've got a nicer set of shoes. Oh, they've got a nicer haircut. Don't compare yourself. Always think of yourself and compare yourself to yourself. So what you should say is, I want to be better than I was next time. I want to try and improve my cooking. I want to try and improve my baking, my dancing. Compare yourself to yourself. And even then, sometimes you have ups and downs, but never compare yourself to others. Otherwise, we can get upset because we think, why are other people better? Always just think, be the best you can be. So that's my motto for today. Stop comparing yourself to others. And if you do that, your mental health, and in fact, I think it's Mental Health Awareness Week, you'll feel a lot stronger and more powerful. So there is thoughts of Mr. Seagull, Robbie, for you today. So let's have a look. I want to show you something. So last night was the trailer for my Monkman and Seagull. In fact, not the trailer, it was the actual episode. So Monkman and Seagull was on BBC Two at 9 p.m. And I think we had like 1.2 million people watching. And that was amazing. So I want to show you a dance that we did last night about a steam engine. Can you imagine that? A show we're learning about science and history. We do a steam engine dance. And let's show you the clip now.
I will begin as the cylinder empty of steam. The boiler fills me up with steam, and then steam goes to the separate condenser.
Which I am the separate condenser. So my valve opens. I fill up with the steam. Come on, do this dance. Condense.
And I empty of steam, lifting up whatever's at the other end of the bean. And then I fill with steam again.
And we keep going. My valve opens. That's steam. That's the steam engine dance. There you go. Bonkers. So that was, if you missed it, it's on BBC iPlayer. So just type in Seagull and you'll find it. And we've got episode 2 next week at 9 p.m. So I'd love the Home Festival family to watch along. So thank you for your kind words about that. So what else do we have now? So let's have a look at the schedule for the afternoon. So obviously we've got in the evening, Anton and Hannah, 8:15, Jive Talk. Then 7 o'clock, Faye Tozer, brilliant bedtime story. Brilliant, she's a great reader. Thank you, Faye. Then at 3 o'clock, Bryony's makeup tutorial. We go from the top. OT's dance class is next at 11:30 in about 12 minutes. Then Richie and Katya have a Pictionary. And then 2 o'clock, are you impressed with this, Katie? I've actually got my apron ready for you, Katie. What else have I had? I've got my ingredients. I'm going to put the apron on properly for you, Katie. There we go. So she's making Biscoff biscuits at 2 o'clock. And if you've enjoyed the lesson today, I would suggest you go along to that because she teaches you something practical from Belgium. What else do we have? Again, I've got some of the ingredients needed. I've got butter. I've got some sugar, some cinnamon. I've got my tub. I'm ready. I'm ready for the lesson. Are you all ready? 2 o'clock. Be there. Be square. Katie's kitchen. She's making Biscoff biscuits. Belgian biscuits that were named after a flower called lotus. So there you go. There we go. Okay. So I think it's you know what time it is. At this sort of time, we normally go back to our dance, don't we? We go back to our dance. So I'm going to get my folk equipment out. So can you, if you're not following me on Facebook, do follow me, Bobby Seagull. On Twitter, Instagram, send me your pictures of your lesson at Bobby_Seagull. I'm loving these lessons. I'm learning so much with you. You guys are amazing. You've got so much positive energy. And that's why we do this at Home Festival, because we do it for you, because we know that you enjoy it so much. You give us so much positive feedback. And then we keep wanting to do more for you. So my next class is, I'm back on Thursday at 10:45 doing a class on the Aztecs. That's going to be great. We're going to Central Mexico. We're going to Aztecs. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, I do a football quiz. So if you like football and know someone that does, please spread the word. And then on Saturday at 6 o'clock, I do my family quiz for the NHS, all part of Home Festival. And then on Monday, make sure you're watching my TV show. So let's put the hat on. Are we ready for some folk dancing? So this is the last bit. We're going to finish off the class, and then you can make sure you go to OT's lesson. So here we go. So thank you, Mayuri. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Robbie. Thank you, Oscar. Thank you, Karina. Who else? Any more people? Francesca, Oscar. Lots of people. Lots of people. If I've forgotten your name, I'll remember. Alexander, Gabriel, Karina. You've all been brilliant. Paul, Walsh, Gemma, Lisa. Thank you so much for coming to my lesson. Francesca. Let's do some folk dancing. Let's do some folk dancing. Are you ready? Are you ready to end the class on some folk? Come on. So much joy. And the guys bit. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, dance with your partner. Spin them round and round and round. Spin them. Move them. Move, move, move. And it's, let's do it again. Go to the left, and keep walking. And send me your video, I know Francesca does. Okay, thank you. And then, I'm going to do the ladies bit here. The spinny bit. It's time. Spin your partner round and round. Spin your partner round and round. Thank you so much. I've had a wonderful lesson. We learned about Belgium today. We looked at their culture. We looked at their language, Flemish, French. We looked at Brussels. We looked at Bruges. We learned some counting today. And looked at Tintin. And also, we learned about their food. You're going to be joining the class. So thank you so much. I'm Bobby Seagull, Bobby_Seagull on Twitter, Instagram, on Facebook, YouTube. Send me your homework. Send me your videos. And I'll see you all very soon. Thank you so much.